Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So we're just going to jump right into this tutorial by applying some Milani 2-in-1 foundation with a wet kabuki brush. Now as you can see, this foundation is so thick, so I definitely had to wet the kabuki to get that nice, flawless, full coverage look, and I was able to achieve that by patting the foundation out, which really helped. It is so amazing, and it's only $9.99. So good, and they have so many different shades. Next, taking my NYX HD Photo Ready Concealer in the shade Fair, and I'm placing this in all of my, as we would call it, the light theory areas. So anywhere that I place that concealer is where we think that the light falls and hits our face. So by placing a lighter shade there, we're actually bringing those areas of the face forward, making them more predominant. Then I'm going to go ahead and set the rest of my face with my Ben Nye banana powder, which I absolutely love this stuff. It smells so good. And if you guys have not noticed already, I've been using the same Luxie brush, which I got in my April Ipsy bag. I wanted to show you guys how many different uses this brush has. It is so great for so many different things. And I'm going to go ahead and warm up the face and add some of that definition that the foundation took out. So as you could see, I went around all of the areas that basically I did not put the brightening concealer, which is where we want the face to kind of sink back in. And it gives that illusion of being slimmer or smaller, which is wonderful in my book. And then I'm going to take some of my Laura Mercier setting powder and we are going to bake, girl. So the reason for baking is basically, you want your makeup to last all day, and by putting that powder on your face and leaving it there for a while, it allows it to just melt into the skin and really set the rest of your makeup. This blush is fabulous. This is the Milani blush in Luminoso, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's got a nice pinky peachy undertone, which I definitely enjoy for spring. And I just placed that on the apple of my cheek, sweeping backwards. And then following that light theory, once again, I'm placing highlighter on the highest points of my face. I am going to get these brows on and I'll be right back. Alright, let's jump into this tutorial. I'm going to take my e.l.f. Fluffy Blending Brush with a little bit of this baby pink color and place it right above my crease. And this color is solely so that way the rest of my colors will blend nice and easy. And then going in with Frappe from MakeupGeek, I'm just going to place that right in the crease, and this is such a beautiful warm caramel color. And as you can see, when I first place the shadow, I hold my brush to where the point goes right into the crease, and then flipping it, I'm able to just buff it out so that way there's no harsh lines on my lid. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this Ulta eyeshadow in Havana Nights, which is an absolutely gorgeous, you can't really tell on camera, but it's more brown with purple undertones. This color is so pretty. It was a little bit hard to work with, like I could not blend it very well. I did take my e.l.f. blending brush. This is a separate one. It's got more of a round edge, so that way there is no lines. My eyeshadow was completely seamless. And then I really struggled to get this eyeshadow primer out. I did put a little bit of it on the back of my hand to warm it up so that way it would go onto my lid a little bit smoother and not be so cold when it did hit my lid because I'm a baby. And then, ta-da! Colourpop, and this is in Slave2Pink. These retail for $5 on the Colourpop website. But if you go to Ipsy, I do believe they're still having a coupon code, and you can literally find coupon codes everywhere and at least maybe get free shipping. This color is stunning. Ugh. And then I'm just going to take a flat eyeshadow brush. So when you use a flat eyeshadow brush, it's meant for packing on the shadow. So as you can see, that shadow is way more intense than my crease is. And that's because that flat brush just picks it up and places it exactly where you press it. And I had to bring the MakeupGeek palette back. I have such an addiction to this thing. And I'm just going to be taking the lightest shade in that palette and placing it right in the middle of my lid. I know this looks super funky now, but I promise you, you'll understand later. It looks like a funky halo eye, but I promise you, it's got purpose. And then I'm just going to be taking the color Mars and Aphrodite, and I'm placing that in my crease with a tapered blending brush. to add a little bit more definition to that crease. It just wasn't dark enough quite yet, especially with what I was doing. And then I took another fluffy blending brush and I just blended out those edges where the white and the pink met. I wanted it to be seamless. And this is why we placed that white. So the reason being was because if I just had pink, my glitter would have looked pink. But I wanted it, going with that light effect, the top of my eyelid, I wanted that to look like it was just there, like it was just in your face, absolutely gorgeous, poking out at you like, hey girl, I see you. And then adding a little bit more of that frost shade from the MakeupGeek palette and placing that on the inner corners to create another highlight effect. And for the scary part, I'm going to put some wing eyeliner on. And I did just use an angled eyeshadow brush. I find that when I do use an angled brush, I have more control of where the lines go. I won't lie, it is kind of difficult once you apply a glitter to your lid. The struggle was kind of real, but whew, we made it through. Whew. And that is the look without false lashes, but knowing me, I like to be extra. So I'm going to put some false eyelashes on. And when you're putting your glue out, if you just squeeze the tube a little bit, you know how you get those air bubbles in your duo or in your lash glue? You don't tend to get them as often if you just kind of lightly push it. And I place the lash in the middle of my lid, and then on the outer corner, and then the inner corner, and then I take my finger and I just rub the lash up to really push it into that lash line. And then I wanted to add a little bit more definition in my waterline. I have a good friend who said that's always a good idea. So I placed a little bit of that tart brown, and this is the finished tutorial. I hope you guys loved this, and I thank you so much for